Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/ProRevenge. Today we have 3 brand new stories. In the first story, we tell you how an old man caught a petty thief. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Grandpa's Revenge. Grandpa worked for a company that set up displays in grocery stores. Due to his generous and talkative nature, he had a lot of contacts and connections, which meant that he was offered all sorts of food that was nearing its expiration date. Even better, once a display was done, it was often to be disposed of, which meant it was whisked away to the basement. Grandpa's basement was like a grocery store that did your laundry while you shopped. It was awesome. He even had a refrigerated section. The dairy products needed to be eaten right away so they didn't go bad, but the potato chips, cans of soda, fruit drinks, cereal, canned food, and other non-perishable stuff lined the shelves and filled the fridge. While the grown-ups would grab a few cans of green beans or a bulk bag of frozen peas, the grandkids knew where the good stuff was. An inflatable 3-foot-long Oscar Mayer hot dog in a bun, an inflatable package of sliced cheese, and a world globe made of fake candy. And all the ice shovels we could ever want, to name a few. When he was selling a store on new products, we got the extra samples. Nintendo cereal, Dannon bottled water, and yogurt containers. I don't think it ever made it to the market, and all sorts of amazing things. His twice-yearly garage sales were the stuff of legend. But what about the revenge, you ask? Well, while most of the stuff was stored in the basement, some of it was boxed up in the shed. Long-term food and trinkets that could stand the summer heat. Grandpa's shed was one of those simple corrugated metal things. The doors didn't even lock. It housed his lawnmower, some grass seed, and a few boxes of bulk goods for his garage sales. One day he saw that a box was open and some of the trinkets inside were gone. Over the next few weeks, he saw other things go missing. Not big stuff, just toys and trinkets, which is why he suspected a neighborhood kid was breaking into his shed. There weren't many kids on his block, though, and he never saw them actually breaking in, but an adult would have taken more or not come back at all. His shed was in the fenced backyard, too, so it wasn't like someone was just wandering past. Finally, after losing quite a few trinkets and finding a box knocked over onto the floor, he decided to take matters into his own hands. He had a day off in the middle of the week, and that evening he built a trap that would have made Rube Goldberg weep for joy. It involved balloons, falling marbles, roller skates, the works. He spent a week planning it. There were drawings. Once he finally built it, he went to bed content that he would catch his thief. Early the next morning, he got up, made coffee, and waited for his burglar. As always happens, he was taking a break from watching when he heard part of his trap spring. I think it was the balloon that popped when the door was moved. He ran to the back door, pelted down the back steps, ran around the side of the house just in time to see a flash of movement. Only a glimpse, but enough that he saw exactly where the burglar was, hiding behind a tree. He crept up to the tree, moving stealthily on his driveway. Now, this tree was special. For whatever reason, it split a little less than 4 feet off the ground, the crotch of the tree making a wide U shape. It was perfect for climbing. Grandpa, having reached the tree, realized he could look down on the thief from above. The thief peeked around the tree and saw Grandpa there and leaped up, and at the same instant, Grandpa popped his head over the tree, screaming bloody murder, hoping to scare the ever-living daylights out of the little sneak thief. For a moment, the thief stared in absolute shock and terror, then keeled over flat on his back. The excitement of the chase and the sudden shock of seeing my grandpa's contorted face screaming down at him was too much. His heart must have given out. My grandpa actually scared him to death. For a moment, my grandpa just stared, then, unbelievingly, went around the tree and gave the recent corpse a gentle nudge. The thief was dead as a doornail. Grandpa leaned against the tree, put his hands over the face, and laughed until he could barely breathe. I can still see the tears of laughter in his eyes as he told me the story of how he gave a squirrel a heart attack. He never got his trinkets back, but boy did he ever get revenge. And our second story. You want a free ride? Fine, I'll take you to Mexico. In 2018, I lived in Southern California while I was finishing up graduate school. Uber was more popular than ever, and given how widespread out California is in general, it was an easy side hustle to shuttle people back and forth. However, I only did it for a little while because I'm not really the most patient person, and eventually got tired of people's BS and attitudes. One of the most common tactics for customers looking to screw a driver was to cancel their rides in the middle of the trip to avoid paying the fare. They would often say how they did it accidentally and then ask me if I could just finish the trip since we were basically there anyway. This happened to me 3 times. The first 2 times I pulled over and told them to get out of my car, to which they complied, albeit they called me several names and threatened to kill me. The third time is the subject of this post. It was about 4:30 in the afternoon on a Tuesday when I decided to log on and catch some fares. Most people go into the office on Tuesdays and Thursdays and are looking to get rides home between 4 and 5 p.m. to beat the traffic. At this point, I should mention that I was living in San Diego. If you know the area, you know that many people work in the city and live in outer areas, Chula Vista, Imperial Beach, Escondido, Pacific Beach, because it's cheaper. The day of the event, oh yes, it was an event, LOL, I picked up a middle-aged girl who was a student at the local community college downtown. Although she was in community college, I could tell she had money by the way she dressed and where she was going, La Jolla. She gets in my car and starts to make conversation with me. I'm driving through town, and as I'm about to get on the highway, I hear a cancellation ding. I pull over to a parking lot and let her know that she canceled the ride and I could not drive her until she rebooked it. She gave me the "it was an accident" excuse. I told her not a problem and to just rebook the route. Well, at this point, all those people I told you about earlier had just got off work and were now in what I call power hour of maximum surge pricing. La Jolla is like 25 to 40 minutes from downtown San Diego, depending on traffic. I looked and the trip would have cost her $70. She told me that she wasn't going to pay that. I said fine, and asked that she exit my vehicle. She refused and told me to take her home like I was her chauffeur. At this point, I was pissed and wouldn't have done it even if she gave me $100 cash. I didn't really need the money. I asked her politely again. She refused. I had never really gotten to this point before. The other 2 people were guys, and I would have had no qualms about yanking their butt out by force and beating them in the middle of the highway. However, that wouldn't have been a good look in this situation. I thought about going to the police, given we were 3 blocks from the headquarters, but I wanted her to feel the burn. I asked her if she wanted a free ride. She suddenly perked up and said, "I knew you'd come around. You're such a nice guy." I said, "Buckle up," and we got on Interstate 5. Here's the part where I tell you that San Diego is 16 miles from the Mexican border. I also keep my passport in my glove compartment because I do volunteer work in Rosarito every so often. We were about 4 minutes into the ride when she asked where we were going. I turned around and told her, "I'm going to Tijuana, and I'm glad you could join me. I hope you brought your passport." At first, she didn't think I was serious, but by exit 4, she started to panic. I told her she was welcome to get out anytime, but she needed to make a decision soon because after we passed exit 1, there was no turning back. I also told her that I wasn't taking her back. Well, she got the message and pleaded for me to pull over. I pulled over and dropped her off at the outlet mall in San Ysidro at the border. Just for craps and giggles, I checked the Uber rate from the mall to La Jolla, and the cheapest rate was $87 for a pool ride. I didn't make any money that night, but that was the richest experience I had while being a rideshare driver. I stopped about a month later and sold my car. And our last story. You're going to get fired for this. I work for a small cell phone fixing business. We offer a payment plan to help people that can't afford to spend a lot of money at once, $10 a month and $35 every time you need it fixed. We had this lady who came in and said she had the plan with us and wanted to get her iPhone 10 fixed, $250 without the plan. I told her it would be $35. She left the phone, and an hour later she shows back up to pick it up. I told her the total with tax. Me: "It's going to be $37.67 whenever you're ready." Her: "It's supposed to be free. I pay the $10 a month." Me: "It's $35 every time you need it fixed." Her: "No, I don't have any money." Me: "Well, then I'll have to put the old screen back." Her: "I'm in a rush and it's already on there. Just let me have it." Me: "Sorry, can't do that. We don't make money if I do that." Her: "You're going to be fired for this." She walks out, pulls out another phone, and is on the phone for a good 20 minutes. I was putting the old screen back on by this time, then stands at the door telling people that we steal from our customers. 10 minutes later, the police show up and start talking to me. She told them that we refused to give her phone back. After I told the cop what was really going on, He told me to have a good day and brought the phone to her. Once she saw that I put the old screen on, she started crying, saying that she pays, the cop checks, and that he too will get fired for this. He got in his car and laughed the whole way out. Never did get fired. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.